Hi, I'm Erik Linask here at IT Expo East 2011 in Miami, Florida. We're here on the closing day of IT Expo. Lots of exciting stuff still going on today. Right now, I've got a chance to talk to Nicole Tanzillo from Spiceworks in our TMC newsroom. Nicole,
Hi,
welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
So, maybe for those of our viewers who aren't familiar with Spiceworks, why don't you start off, tell me a little bit about who Spiceworks is, what do you do?
Great. Okay, well, we're a company based out of Austin, Texas. We've been here about 5 years. And we basically started out the company looking at how can we help IT pros do their job better. And specifically, we were looking at IT pros who are in the small to medium-sized businesses, those guys who maybe there's one or two folks who are working in the business, they're isolated, they don't have peers necessarily who they can interact with and bounce ideas off of. They're responsible for making sure that the printer's working, making sure that the laptops are up and running, the server, networking, everything that's involved in making an organization run from an IT perspective, they do it. And traditionally, they didn't have a ton of support to get those sorts of things done. They were also using a lot of different tools to manage different aspects of their business. So what we tried to do is create a single integrated application that helps them do everything IT. So they've got network management, inventory of their different devices, help desk and ticketing. We actually have an iPhone app so they can do things on the go. All these things were brought together to make them successful and simplify things. What we also found happen was we provided a discussion forum, right up front when we started this thing, and this kind of organic thing started happening where these users would get together, talk, share best practices, and interact in a way that they'd never been able to do before. That has exploded. We now have 1.3 million users who are a part of our community, who are interacting, sharing best practices, tips and tricks, and doing their jobs in a way they couldn't do before. What's really exciting about the way we do all this is it's for free. They pay $0 to take advantage of the community or the product. So
the obvious question there is, how's that work? How do you generate any revenue?
Exactly. And so we kind of took a different tack on this, and I think people thought we were a little crazy when we started this out, but it's worked out really well. You can think about how Facebook provides a totally free service. Google provides a totally free service by providing contextual, relevant advertising and content. We do the same thing, but we're really, really specific about it. So we have technology vendors that are eager to connect with these IT pros and provide white papers and content, contextual information about tools that they can offer, and we surface some of that in our application. And so a user might be looking at their printer information, looking at how things are going, and they might see something pop up in the right-hand corner that talks about something related to that. So you won't see an advertisement for a car or a vacation, just stuff that you might actually need to do your job. That ends up paying the bills. Our vendors love it because they get to connect with the IT pros they weren't able to interact with before, and our users actually get relevant contextual information surfaced as they're doing their jobs.
Well, you certainly can't beat the price point for the user, that's for sure.
That's what we hear.
One thing that's interesting is you mentioned the rapid growth in the number of community members. So it's safe to say that the whole, and you referenced Facebook as well, the whole social media, social community phenomenon explosion has really helped drive your product.
It's interesting that you say that. As we look at 2011, we've seen kind of up until now this explosion of consumer social networking, of Facebook, Twitter, these different applications where people are interacting online, communicating. What we're seeing now is the transition and the application of that to businesses and kind of industry organizations. What we're seeing is 2011 is the year for IT, that we really go social. What we see is happening is, we talked about those guys were siloed, they were kind of on their own. Now that they're being able to interact and kind of communicate, it's just growing organically and so rapidly. And so we think that this is going to be the year that it truly does become a social part of the social business, really, for IT.
So a lot of the the idea of social networking, business, enterprise social networking has a lot to do with obviously content sharing, but also educating your peers and becoming educated by your peers. And that's something that exciting that you guys are doing now too.
Absolutely, it is. In addition to the fact that we've rolled into this community that's directly in the workflow of the product, where they can get this information as they're working, we know that they're not working all the time, and sometimes they want to get out there and interact with other users, network, have a drink or two, that sort of thing. what we're doing, in addition to some of the other great user group programs we have, is we're introducing something called Spiceworks University. We've got users who are brand new, all the way up to expert users who know just darn near everything about the product, but all of them still want to learn more. And so just as of last night, actually, we announced a new program called Spiceworks University, which is a global training program. And you might imagine that we've done it a little bit differently than other training programs out there. It's kind of what we do. We're actually having our expert users become trainers and share their expertise and their knowledge with other users in their communities. And so as these classes develop and are executed, you have an expert user in a community, bringing in new people, having them interact with each other, and just building on this, this online community in a way that really wasn't possible before.
Well, that's really neat, really exciting. Certainly, I imagine that that's going to take off. But one question I have on that is, for those expert users / educators, are they doing it for free, or is there some compensation attached?
It's a really, really good question. Actually, I think half of them would do it for free. And we've got some great guys out there, and I've been talking to them for the last couple of months, and they said, oh, we love it, but something would be nice. And yeah, we're actually going to be doing registration revenue shares with them, so they're going to have great compensation for being a part of this, in addition to the fact they're going to get great certification, recognition in the community, and they're going to be that expert user that their local guys look up to.
Anything exciting, where you've just launched Spiceworks University, anything else exciting on the horizon?
Oh man, it's going to be a big year. We've been described as the Facebook of IT, and we're putting a lot of investment into the product to make sure that it is absolutely as fantastic as it can be. We've got a new version that's going to be coming out shortly. I mentioned the iPhone app. It's very exciting. We're actually previewing it on the floor here at the show this week. A lot of cool technology coming out in just a couple of months, but I have to keep it under wraps or I'll get in trouble.
About an Android app?
You know what? Android's next. Gonna happen. Absolutely.
I think it almost has to these days.
It does. It does. It's very, yeah. It's going to be almost immediately afterwards. Yeah. Very
Excellent.
exciting.
Well, Nicole, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And just so you know, we'll be in your hometown of Austin for IT Expo West.
Fantastic.
In September.
Well, we'll have to take you out for barbecue.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Thank you, Nicole.
Absolutely. Thank you.